Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Been a few days. We're back at ETS2, obviously. I didn't have to say that. I don't know why I said that. But, yeah, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a good day today. I can tell you one thing. I did not. But hopefully we can make that a little bit better. So hopefully if your day was bad, we can make it a little bit better for you as well. We're back in ETS2, and I haven't shown you the trailer yet, although if you look at the thumbnail, you already know what it is. We are doing a special transport contract. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, a special transport basically means you take a low-bed trailer containing a cargo that is either extremely wide, extremely long, extremely heavy, oddly shaped, or a combination of the four. So, that's what we're doing. We are doing a special transport. We are transporting a construction staircase. And yes, it is very heavy. Not terribly heavy, but pretty heavy. Very long, and probably the most concerning bit, extremely wide. I will just pull up the menu here to show you. Yeah, 110,000 US pounds is how much this thing weighs. It is 20 meters long, 5.6 meters wide, which is no small figure, and 4.7 meters high. Are you ready to see this monstrosity? If you play ETS2, you already know what this is. But for those of you who don't, this is the monstrosity we are hauling. What is this? What even is this? There's, what? Huh? What is this? So yeah, we're hauling this giant thing. If I can move the camera enough where you can actually see it. Yeah, look how tiny my Volvo looks with this. This is crazy. But we are in, forgive me if I say this wrong, Košice. That's probably not how you say it. But we are at ITCC in Košice. We are taking this thing south along the M30 and then west along the M3. And we will be dropping it off at NBFC in Budapest. It's not a terribly long run. Yeah, a little over 200 kilometers. But it was the only one I could find with this cargo, which is what I wanted to do for the video. So, that's what we're doing. Moving this monstrosity. Quick rundown of the truck specs. 500 horsepower. 12-speed I-shift, even, transmission. 6x24 mid-lift. Obviously, I'm leaving the mid-lift down for the entire trip. And, yeah, we've got beacons up top, and then some lights, some flashing lights down there. And then the trailer itself has a beacon on the back. We will have escorts. One thing you do get is if your cargo is big enough with special transport stuff, you get, an escort. You get a lead in front and then another one behind, and they travel with you. And then you have local police and others that help control traffic flow, and it's a whole operation. It can be very stressful, but it is a lot of fun, and I do enjoy doing them. It has been quite a while, and I did realize that I haven't actually done one in a video. I've done them off camera, but I haven't done one in a video because I normally do curtain sider stuff. So let's get rolling. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy. I've just realized I'm actually probably going to be late for this delivery now because I spent too much time rambling like I always seem to do. Let's get going. Turn the lights on, and while I'm thinking about it, switch those on. I will be shifting manually for this because it is quite a heavy load. Yeah, there we go. We're all lit up. Alright, ready? Beacons on. That looks nice. We've got the one beacon in back, the 2 pulsar beacons at the top, and then the little 4 flashing ones on the grill. So, parking brake off, first gear, let's get going. I am going to turn this mirror on. I normally don't do that, but I would like to actually see what I'm doing. As you can see, this thing is ridiculously wide, so we may come to some tight spots. I have transported these before, but I've never done it on camera, so pressure's on. Gotta do it right. I'm not saying I goof off if it's off camera. I mean, I still do it right, but the pressure's on because I'm uploading this, whether I screw it up or not. Shouldn't really... Okay, yeah, no, not using the brights. That was... I think I might have fried my retinas there. You will notice a lot of pedestrians, etc., that like to film us as if they've never seen anything like this, which, to be fair, they probably haven't. Alright, that car blocking traffic the other way will be our aft escort, and then this guy up ahead is our lead escort. You don't really have to use the sat-nav to know where you're going because you just follow him, but I usually leave it up as a bit of a reference anyway. One plus side to doing special transport runs is when you start them, the company that's paying you to transport the item, they give you a free full tank of diesel, which obviously you keep after the run's over. So whatever fuel I happen to not need for this, I just have a free tank of fuel, which is outstanding because diesel is quite expensive. I didn't realize till I started playing this game, but it's really quite expensive. Now normally I take speed limits as a guideline, as it were. Sometimes I'll pay attention to them, but mainly I just drive the truck how I think is safe. Because anybody who's played ETS2 for any length of time knows that sometimes the speed limits can be far too low, ridiculously low even, and then sometimes you get a road where you wouldn't go half of that speed limit if your life depended on it, because it's just insane. We are taking a turn here. The frame rate has plummeted. They're blocking traffic over there. Thank you. Oh! What was that? Oh, did I hit the curb? Oh, I have done. Crap. Don't be honking at me. Alright, so that's... Did we take any damage from that? No. 1% on the truck, but that's not from this. That was from a completely different thing. I backed into something before I came over here to do this run. That's not from this run. Normally when I finish one of these runs, I've hit at least one car and taken down several road signs. So let's try not to do that. Back to what I was saying about speed limits. So normally I'll just use them as a guideline, but when you do special transport runs, there is no guessing and there is no faffing around with speeding, etc. You just don't. The lead escort in front will alter his speed to stay with me, because at the end of the day, I'm the one hauling this massive piece of crap. I'm the one that has the final say on what speed I need to go. And he will adjust his speed accordingly to stay with me for whatever I need. That being said, the speed limit on a special transport run is 60k. That's it. No question, no changing speed limits. That's it. 60k is all you get. And if I try to go faster than 60k, the lead won't. He is adamant. He will stay at 60k. And it's not like I can overtake him with this massive thing. Very close to that Mercedes there. So yeah, 60k is what you get. So there's no speeding around. Not that I would want to speed with this thing. I mean, this thing is absolutely massive. Oh, this is tight. Got a handrail and a bus. Wasn't too bad. That always seems to be the catch with this kind of run, is the AI traffic seems to stop right across from a sign, a guardrail, a power pole, a something that just happens to be the worst spot possible. I'm also doing this at night, which adds the challenge of I can only see so far in the mirror. But they do have little guide lights on the end of it, so that's a plus. People say, and I mean the ETS community in general here, but people say for a run like this, especially with a load this heavy, they're like, you need to have an 8x4 with a 16-speed transmission and 750 horsepower, or 730 if you're using a Scania, or something. I mean, just ridiculous specs like that, and I'm like, that's a bit overkill. You don't need that. I'm using a normal 12-speed I shift, a 6x24 mid-lift, so I've only got one drive axle. Granted, I have the mid-lift down for extra support. And a 500 horsepower engine, which is nothing special. It's the everyday engine I use in the Volvo. It's 500 horsepower. That's all I need. And it's doing this absolutely fine. Now, granted, if we come to a steep hill, we're going to have an issue. Because I did a run like this the other day, went up a hill, and I was down in 5th gear crawling. But even so, it's hard to kill a Volvo. We'll put it that way. But it'll be much easier if I hit one of these power poles, which I'm trying not to do. It doesn't help that I can't really see the edge of the load. Bump it down to 8th. One thing I typically do in the Volvo, if I'm shifting manually even, is I will double jump gears. I usually do it on the odd numbers, so I'll go, if I'm heavy, I'll start in 1st. If I'm not heavy, I'll start in 3, but we'll go 3, 5, 7, 9. If I'm going downhill, I can double jump to 11th. If I'm not, then I'll single step it up to 12th, and then when I start slowing down, I'll drop it to 11th, and then double jump on the odd numbers back down. That's typically what I do. Now, obviously, with this, double jumping is a lot more difficult. You get to about 7th, and then you just have to single step it from there. Oh my word, that was close. Yeah, I don't really care about these little road markers. I don't understand their purpose, but they're relatively cheap. Like that one there, we just knocked one down if you were watching in the mirror. And that one. Bloody Mary. But at the end of the day, I would rather hit... Frame rate just dropped. I would rather hit a sign or a road marker than a car. Slash bus slash... Actually, let's rephrase that. Oncoming vehicle. Because that is owned by somebody, driven by somebody, and if it's a bus or a car, carrying more than one person. If it's a truck, it's still carrying the driver. So, at the end of the day, signs are replaceable. I'd rather hit a sign than kill somebody. Sometimes on a dual carriageway with a load this wide, you kind of have the leniency of taking both lanes if you want it. At the moment, I'm not, because we have the hard shoulder slash emergency lane slash whatever you want to call it. So I have enough room I can actually let people around. But I had a run earlier this week. I was hauling something just like this in Russia, which I guess explains the actions of the AI driver. But this guy, I was on a dual carriageway that went into a roundabout, and I was taking the first exit. I come around off the roundabout, and out of nowhere in my mirror, I see this guy come flying up right next to the truck as I cut off into the exit off the roundabout, and he goes flying in front of me, flying around the lead, and he's gone. So my first thought was, okay, that guy's had too much vodka. And my second thought is, what an idiot. Because had I not seen him the split second I did in my mirror, realistically, I probably would have killed him. Because that load would have pinched him up against the guardrail and probably decapitated him. Fortunately, we haven't had any drivers like that yet on this trip, but gonna go for 8th, get some more power. 7th. Oh my life. Yeah, the police are not very bright. I appreciate that they're doing traffic control, but parking right across from a guardrail is a very bad idea. That's another thing that kind of irritates me, is the lead slowing down and stopping for no apparent reason. Why have you stopped? Are we waiting? Oh, we're waiting on the other guy, aren't we? Yep, there he is back there. Alright, we'll keep going. There is a train passing by my house in real life right now, so I do apologize if you can hear that. Now, it is worth noting, the back of this trailer, a lot of those actually, I think it's all of the axles, are steering axles. So when I begin to turn, the axles will pivot their wheels the opposite direction, and as a result, the back end of the trailer will swing around to help me make tight turns easier. The downside of that is trucker instinct, if you could call it that. I'm not a real trucker, so I don't know if this counts. But your trucker instinct, or virtual trucker instinct in my case, will tell you that long trailer, swing out wider for your turns. That's your first habit. But with this kind of trailer, you can't do that. I mean, you will, but you can't do it as much. Because, and I've learned this from experience, those turning axles will try to kick the backside of the trailer around, and you'll wind up getting it stuck on a guardrail or a fence or a concrete barrier or, God forbid, a car or something. Then you have to back up and try to weasel your way off of it. Let's go for 9th. Nope, see? Hitting the brakes for no apparent reason. What you want to bet these escort guys have never driven a truck? Honestly, anybody who gets in front of a moving truck and slams on the brakes, if you do that, you deserve whatever happens to you after that. Let's just be honest. If you are stupid enough to pull in front of a moving truck that weighs a bajillion tons, in my case, a bajillion tons, and slam on the brakes, if you're dumb enough to do that, you fully deserve any repercussions that happens after that. Whether it be me slamming into you, smashing you into the wall, anything. I did have a thought today. I play, this is going to the world of music, but I play the French horn. And coincidentally, my favorite truck in ETS is the Volvo FH. Conspiracy. I don't know why I never realized that, but I just did. The frame rate is pathetic for some reason. I don't know why. My frame rate was always fine until I got ProMods. And then ever since I got ProMods, every once in a while the frame rate just dies. Not a horrible amount, but enough where it's irritating. That is kind of a bad thing about hugging the shoulder like this, is my right side wheels happen to be right on the line, so you hear the rumble strips, but there's nothing much I can do about that. I mean, I could turn it off in the settings, but it's realistic, so, you know. Rule of thumb, if you can't see the truck's mirrors, he or she driving cannot see you. Like these AI cars that are slowly creeping their way around me, I can't see them till they're almost past the load because of how wide it is. Oh, here comes another truck. It's a Mercedes. I've never actually, now that I think about that, I've never actually owned a Mercedes truck for LMD Logistics, which is my company with the blue and the gears and the whatnot. I never have. Let's see, I've owned a Scania, obviously. That was my first truck I ever got, and I still have it. I have owned Volvo, obviously I'm driving one, and all of my company drivers now drive Volvos that I have purchased for them. So we're pretty much a Volvo fleet, more or less. They used to drive DAFs, and I still have one DAF that I keep around to drive. So I've owned plenty of DAFs. I have owned a Renault, the Renault Range T, which you've seen in some videos. I've never owned an Iveco because I hate them. And surprisingly, I've never owned a Mercedes. The Mercedes aren't bad. I've just never owned one. I don't know why. Huh. I may visit a dealer sometime and take a look to see what they're like. Volvo is my favorite, to be honest. Which I hate to say because I love the Scania. My S580, I love the Scania. But I think day in and day out, the Volvo takes the cake for me. Now, am I going to get some hate for saying that? Absolutely. But I love the Volvo and the Scania. Is it? You can like both, right? I mean, you can like, to put it in other competitions, you can like Ford and Chevy. You can like Coke and Pepsi, although if you do, you're probably stupid. You can like, I'm trying to think of something else. Dude, what are you doing? Nah, you pelican, don't stop like that. Give me a little heads up or something. I can't see. Are we waiting on the guy behind? Oh, there he is. Oh, speedy. Let this guy come in. Why is the frame rate so bad? Literally, my frame rate was fine until I got ProMods, and then it started doing that. I don't know. Oh, this guy is parked really close to the road. Dodge around him. Oh, this is where it gets interesting. These curved ramps with rails on both sides. This is about to not... Oh, there's a lot of signs there. Taking down a sign is alright, because they're replaceable. Snagging the guardrail is a bit of a different story, because the guardrail is not moving. Just did make it through that. Alright, only a few kilometers further. Officer has stopped the traffic over there. I have just noticed, actually, I have turning axles on the front of the trailer, too. Those three turn, and then the back series are the ones that try to, like, move. Or they turn for the other way. Frame rate is absolute crap right now. Why is that? I'm running on an i5, 16 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1660. It shouldn't be doing this. It should not be doing this. Why is the frame rate so bad? Oh, okay, it smoothed out a little bit. Back in the day it didn't matter because I did time-lapse stuff, but this... Like, oh, okay, we're turning. That's what happens when you don't watch the sat-nav. He catches you off guard. Now, normally... I say normally... With these kind of jobs, there's not a much backing or maneuvering you have to do when you park up. It's usually get some more power and not hit the lampstand. It's usually just a section of a yard that they've blocked off for you, and you just pull straight in and park, and that's that. I don't know. I've never been to Budapest, so we'll see. I'm also not sure if we're supposed to follow red lights or not. I guess not. Some university students over here that are watching. Alright, frame rate is worse if you look to the right, so don't look to the right. Let's try 7th gear. A little uphill up there, so we'll pick up some speed. Lag is horrendous. That's not because I'm recording 60 FPS, is it? Like, I started doing that after I got the i5, and it did it fine. And now it just seems to be taking a dump on the frame rate. Alright, I can't get around these cars, so we'll just wait behind them. Let's drop it to 5th, get some power. Downhill, thankfully. There's somebody in a Mustang, dude. You're about to get walloped. Oh, I think we took out that sign. Ooh, we bent it, but it's still there. Trying not to hit that nice red Mustang. Right, where do they want us? Alright, so yeah, when you get to where you're going, the lead blocks off traffic. And then we just go on in. Not going to swing out too much because the turn axle's in the back. I don't want them to hit that wall. Not sure what this place is. I don't guess it matters. I just drive the truck. I say take this, we'll pay you. I just drive the truck. Alright, I'm turning the beacons off to see if that helps with the frame rate, which it actually has. I swear, if that's why the frame rate was so bad. Yeah, see, they got a section blocked off for us. It's a nice big spot out in the open. We can park this thing and get unhooked. Drop it into first. And right there we'll do neutral, parking brake set, close the mirrors, lights off, beacons are already off. And we will shut that down there. Yeah, they're still blocking traffic out there for some reason, so you may hear some honks. But there we go. That is 110,000 pounds and 20-meter length of construction staircase delivered to this place. I don't know why they need it or what they're using it for. It's not my business. Like I said, I just drive the truck. So, there we go. Stop honking! There we go. Yeah, we're there. So, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, drop me a comment. Tell me what you would like to see next. If you didn't enjoy it, that's perfectly fine too. Drop me a comment and tell me what I could do better. See how that works? So you're commenting either way. See, I've trapped you now. That's how this works. But, yeah. That's all I've got for this video. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. This is LMD Productions, and I will catch you next time. Take care.